Hey, it's Anna. Welcome back to my channel, and I am super excited because I'm going to my first book event in Wisconsin. I've gone to some in Illinois, even been to one in Missouri, but I have yet to actually go to a book event in Wisconsin, and that is going to be for Jeneva Rose's latest release, Home is Where the Bodies Are. And if you haven't just seen this book cover before, I absolutely love it. It goes along with the concept of the book. So I'm super excited to be part of her hometown book launch event that is going to be happening on May 10th. I have my ticket here that I am not going to lose because that would make me very sad. This event is open to the public in the area, and I have this because I pre-ordered the book from Reads by the River, and with pre-ordering the book from that bookstore, I was able to get a priority signing line ticket. So I feel like that'll be really interesting to see how this book event is set up, because based off of talking to the store clerk, it is going to be, if you have a priority line ticket, you're going to go first to see Jeneva, and then everyone else can go after. And then I feel like I don't usually show books without the dust jacket, but I just think this one is absolutely cool, especially because this all centers around a VHS tape. And I'm going to be honest, I haven't been the biggest fan of Jeneva Rose's books. The Perfect Marriage was okay for me. I really didn't like You Shouldn't Have Come Here, but then I absolutely loved #Crime Time. So I'm very intrigued by this book, and I'm not sure what's going to happen. I have read a few chapters, so let me tell you what this is about and why it's centered on a VHS. After their mother passes, three estranged siblings reunite to sort out her estate. Beth, the oldest, never left home. She stayed with her mom, caring for her until the very end. Nicole, the middle child, has been kept at arm's length due to her ongoing battle with a serious drug addiction. Michael, the youngest, lives out of state and hasn't been back to their small Wisconsin town since their father ran out on them 7 years before. While going through their parents' belongings, the siblings stumble upon a collection of home videos and decide to revisit those happier memories. However, the nostalgia is cut short when one of the VHS tapes reveals a night in 1999, which it might be a little hard to see, but that says summer 1999 on the cover. Again, I just think it's so smart. That none of them have any recollection of. On screen, their father appears covered in blood. What follows is a dead body and a pact between their parents to get rid of it before the video abruptly ends. Beth, Nicole, and Michael must now decide whether to leave the past in the past or uncover the dark secret their mother took to her grave. So again, I'm not very far in at all. I do have some sneaking suspicions. I'm going to kind of talk about them here in more of a spoilery format for this book because I think it'll be interesting. I definitely think that being so early on, my prediction is that Beth killed her mother. Their mother dying was from Beth's perspective, and I'm like, okay, I feel like she killed her. Maybe she didn't, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was a twist that this took. And then the dying words from Beth's mother was your father didn't disappear, don't trust, and then she dies. So we don't know who not to trust, not 100% sure. We've only been introduced to the siblings and the mom so far, so there's not a lot of players in the game this early on. So I'm very interested to keep reading this and to keep going. So this will be my full read through, book review, giving you thoughts, and then also meeting Jeneva and seeing how an event like this goes. I haven't been to an event where there was specifically a priority line. I've been to ones where there were groups or there was a specific number in a signing line. So I'm super interested to see how this event goes, and I'm also happy to not drive super far away for an event. It's still a drive, but at least it's not an hour and a half. It is May 3rd today, so I have a week to read the book before meeting Jeneva. I really hope I can get to it. I'm not 100% sure if I will, but that is my goal. So let's get reading this book. It is May 6th, and I have officially finished Home is Where the Bodies Are. I even posted my review on Goodreads, which I talked about in the last video, but I'm very proud of myself for getting this up very quickly. I did finish it technically on May 5th, and I feel like I always need a little bit of time before putting together a review on books just to see where I feel like it's going to fall on my stars rating. I will say I am glad I picked this up. I feel like it was better than You Shouldn't Have Come Here for sure. I also feel like this was better than Perfect Marriage. I don't think this was better than #Crime Time, but #Crime Time is such a unique audio experience that I don't really know what'll exactly compare to it, but in terms of books that I've read by hers, this so far is my favorite, outside of #Crime Time. I feel like I'm seeing people say that there was no plot in this book, and maybe we have different definitions on what plot means. I feel like from the very beginning, I knew what the main conflict was going to be. I knew they had to solve it, and then by the end, we get resolution on that conflict. I feel like that's what a plot is, and I feel like it was done pretty well in this book. The reason that it lost a star for me is because this book is called a thriller. You can even see on the back that it says rated T for thriller. Can I take this off? No. I thought that that was an actual sticker I could take off, but it's not. So it says rated T for thrilling, not thriller. And I just feel like the beginning part was quite slow and there was a lot more like tension. I would say T for tension instead of T for thrilling. I did feel like it was very quick. I feel like it was easy to understand. I personally liked the multiple perspectives, and I feel like you could tell whose perspective you were in based on the writing style, but that's just me. I also really liked how everything tied up so nicely with a bow at the end. I have no more questions. I feel there's no need to go back into this universe. I love how it fully wraps up, and I feel like standalones these days don't necessarily do that, so I'm really happy to see that this is a standalone where like, yeah, there is no reason for us to go back to this universe. And I know Jeneva Rose has talked about how she's gonna do a sequel to The Perfect Marriage, which I'm just like, does that really need one? So I'm really happy that this feels like a true standalone. It is fairly short. It is 250 something pages. I think online it said it was like 295. It's definitely not 295. Okay, it is 246 pages, which I feel like is pretty short in terms of comparing the lengths of books that I've read. But I also feel like this is a really good, if you're looking to get into reading, if you think you like potentially thrillers, this isn't, again, too thrilling. I think this is a good taster into the genre because there are parts that do get a little violent. And so can you handle that violence? If you can, then I would say I'd recommend this. And then if you can't, I would recommend this. And I feel like I have different options for what folks could read after finishing this. So I'm really glad that I stuck with Jeneva Rose as an author. And now I'm even super excited to meet her in Wisconsin. She actually mentions the town of Delavan in the book multiple times, which is exciting because that is where the hometown meet and greet is from. She actually bases the town in this book off of the town she grew up in Wisconsin. And I just feel like that's really cool because I really like books set in the Midwest. That's where I grew up. That's a lot of what I've known. So I really enjoyed getting to see that. So in terms of meeting Jeneva Rose, I don't think I'm going to be wearing any like special outfit or anything like that. I'm just going to go as I am. I have to check the rules on the website, but I do really want to bring It's a Date Again because this has like an amnesia plot to it. And it'd be funny if she signed this for me again. And if I continue to go to events for Jeneva, because, you know, this is going to be my first Wisconsin event. So if she keeps coming to Wisconsin, then I feel like it would just be fun to continue to do. So, and maybe that can be just like a little inside joke of continuously having this sign. I don't know if that's actually going to happen. I do have to check the rules. So next time you see me is when I'll be heading to the Jeneva Rose event. It says the doors open at 5:15 and I believe I am a decent ways away. So I'm going to try to work a little earlier in the day and then be able to leave a little earlier. That's luckily with a work from home job. If I like make my lunch only 15 minutes or I work earlier, my boss is pretty flexible. And if I keep my work phone on me, it's not really a huge deal. So I'm hopefully going to see how this turns out. And I am interested, especially because this is at a high school. So I don't know. I feel like this event is going to be a very different experience, but I'm also excited to go along with it. So let's flash forward to actually going to meet Jeneva Rose again. All right, this is the day of the Jeneva Rose event. I'm so excited. I am officially done with work for the weekend. Let's pack my bag with me. I am bringing my audiobooks, our reading bag. I actually got this at the last Jeneva Rose event I went to, so I feel like that'll just be fun. First and most importantly, I am bringing my ticket. I did not lose this. I jokingly told my husband I lost it, and he looked very terrified for me. So have my ticket. It has the address where the event is, so I am excited to put this in my bag. I have my 2 Jeneva Rose books that I'm going to bring. I don't know if she'll sign It's a Date Again, and I really should read it probably, but I'm going to bring it just in case. And then of course I have Home is Where the Bodies Are. I'm putting my ticket right on top of the Home is Where the Bodies Are book so that I really don't lose it. For the book that I might read while I'm waiting, because I do plan to get there right when doors open, and if I'm not like talking to anyone around me, I'll probably read, is The Brothers Hawthorne, because it has really short chapters. So if I do end up talking to somebody or there's like interruptions, I feel like I won't miss too much versus the rest of the books I'm reading right now. I feel like have longer chapters. I'm bringing my Tortured Poets Department cardigan. I don't know how cold it'll be, so I just want to have something just in case. I have this peanut butter chocolate bar because work has been really crazy today that I only ate lunch like 30 minutes ago, and it is like 4:30. So I'm bringing this in case I get a little hungry. And then I also have a Gatorade because I haven't had enough calories today. Like I can just tell. And so I feel like this will just keep me going through the event and then come back home and have a good dinner. Or I might grab something while I'm out. Haven't decided yet. And then a portable charger. This is the Anchor brand portable charger. I use it every single day because I like how it plugs into the wall and then I can just put that away and it goes on the road with me. I'm just gonna carry the cardigan. This bag isn't big enough for it, but I do think it's a pretty big bag, and for getting it as a free little gift with a book event, I feel like it's pretty nice. So let's go meet Jeneva again. All right, it has been a little while since the Jeneva Rose book event. I just got really busy over the weekend, so let's talk about it. So I arrived at the high school at around like 5 o'clock because they said that the doors open at 5:15. I wasn't sure how popular the event would be, so getting there a little bit early I feel like was good. I was definitely one of the first, I'm gonna say like 25 people in line, which was pretty good. There were a lot of people that ended up showing up. She filled a lot of the amphitheater space at the high school. It was really cute. Her English teacher did the introduction for her, which I just thought was so sweet. And then I forgot this was the way that Jeneva did her book event because she had talked about it during the hashtag crime time, but with hashtag crime time, she wrote that with her husband. So it was a lot of their banter back and forth. But when Jeneva goes on these book tours, if there's not somebody there, she really runs it herself and then does a lot of Q&A with the audience. What was really exciting is that, so she's already said that she's going to release 2 books next year. One is like a zombie apocalyptic end of the world romance, and then the other is the sequel to The Perfect Marriage, The Perfect Divorce. And listen, I've said before that The Perfect Marriage is not my favorite book. I rated it a 3.5 out of 5 stars, and I had some issues with it. What Jeneva told us is that her publisher in the UK didn't even really let her edit it. So when The Perfect Marriage gets a re-release, I believe next year, there's going to be some bonus chapters. So I might actually pick it up and reread it and see if my perception has changed. And also, I've never physically read it. I just listened to it as an audiobook and had issues with it. So I think it'll be really interesting to see what that looks like. I believe it's a hardcover release because I have the paperback. So I don't like owning multiple copies of books, but I will say that the paperback I own of The Perfect Marriage was a gift in a book advent calendar. So my husband got that as like a bulk book deal. So I really might just buy the hardcover and reread it just to see what it's like. So she was talking about that. She was talking about the movie for The Perfect Marriage. She talked a little bit about You Shouldn't Have Come Here, which You Shouldn't Have Come Here is my least favorite, but I kind of also spoiled it for myself, so that was my fault. And she talked a little bit about how she was under the name like J.R. Adler for a bit, and she really wanted to put Jeneva Rose with some of the J.R. Adler books, but her publisher said, no, we're going to keep J.R. Adler. But then once The Perfect Marriage went off, then they were like, oh, well, maybe we should put your actual name on these. So that's interesting. I might pick up some of her J.R. Adler books. I'm not 100% sure. So hearing her talk was really interesting. Seeing all the Q&As was fun. I didn't ask a question. I didn't have one. And so I was just vibing along with the crowd. We made a TikTok with her, took like a big group photo, and then it was on to the signing line. And I don't blame Reads by the River for this at all. I wish that there had been like a better system forethought for this. So you had your ticket, which I don't know where that is anymore, which is fine because the event's over, so I don't need the ticket anymore. And you were told, you know, that was like the priority line. I think that there were maybe 10 people out of the entire auditorium that did not have an orange ticket. So the only thing that I wish, because I didn't know how long I would be waiting there, and I didn't like jump up and run into a line because I've never done that at a book event. I know some people have talked about how they need to do that. I've never been one to do that. So I just like casually waited, got in line. I was near the end, which is fine, but I wish that the tickets had been numbered in some type of way, right? Either they number them as soon as somebody picks up the book, or they number them based off of when you pre-ordered it, just to give us some idea of how long it would take, and also create a bit more order, because there were 2 doors where you could leave the auditorium, but there was only 1 door to go in and sign with Jeneva Rose. And so I feel like if we had lined up in number order out of one of the doors, the line would have also moved a lot faster. Because I remember there was one point in line where I just stood there for 30 minutes, or maybe it was even an hour, just because there was so much congestion in front of me. They were trying to like fix that, which is again fine. I brought The Brothers Hawthorne. I read almost 100 pages of it at this book event. I didn't really talk to anybody. I could have maybe been a little more social, but I was really sucked into The Brothers Hawthorne, so I don't know why I brought it, but I am still glad that I did. did. And then after waiting in line, I was able to meet Jeneva Rose again. So when Jeneva first saw me, she's like, "Where do I know you from?" And I said, "Oh, I was at your Anderson's book event, and I thought it would be funny if you signed It's a Date Again." And then she thought that was funny, and she told me that every time I go to a signing of hers to like bring the It's a Date Again book, and we'll just keep filling it up. So as you can see, she signed it twice, and then I actually forgot about this part until I saw it. Drew, her husband, because we were so late in line, he's like, "Does anyone want me to sign their book?" And so I was like, "Yeah, that would be so fun." So he also signed my book. So this is now going to be our thing where I bring this and she signs it. And I'm definitely interested in the zombie romance book. So definitely, the person doesn't fall in love with a zombie. I'm so sorry. She keeps calling it that. And I keep calling it that in my head. But it's like a romance in an apocalyptic world. That's what the book is. I am excited for that one. The Perfect Divorce, I don't, like, she gave us the synopsis of it. And again, I might just have to reread The Perfect Marriage and see. And then, of course, we have Home is Where the Bodies Are, which was really exciting. We also got some other fun goodies while we were there. We got a bookmark for Home is Where the Bodies Are. Obviously, I'm not going to use it in Home is Where the Bodies Are, but I will take a bookmark. We got some stickers. I really need to find a place to put some of my stickers because I have some from other books, but I don't have like a good place to stick them. And then we kind of have this like movie trailer of Home is Where the Bodies Are, like a little mini movie poster, not a trailer, that's my bad. And I thought that this was really cool. So would I go to another event at Reads by the River? Absolutely, I would. I feel like there is nothing wrong with having to wait in line. The people behind me had no idea how popular Jeneva Rose was, I guess. They thought that they were going to be like a quick in and out. But I feel like now that I understand the expectations of events there, like I know what I'm getting into again, which is fine, especially because, again, my drive was way shorter than Anderson's bookshop, where with Anderson's, I have to drive like an hour and a half. With the high school, it was like 30 minutes. So I was already fine with spending a total of like 2 hours waiting in line for a signature because I would have spent an extra 2 hours in my car if it was an Anderson's event. So that was my experience meeting Jeneva Rose, reading Home is Where the Bodies Are. I'm super interested if you've picked this up. Again, I think this would be a really good like starter book for someone. If someone was just getting back into reading or wanting to start reading in general, I would definitely recommend this book for them. I don't think it was over the top in any type of way. I feel like this could be a book that a lot of people really, really like. I wouldn't be surprised if this was one of her like best books, to be honest. Like even compared to The Perfect Marriage, I would not be surprised if a lot of folks pick this up. And then something I don't talk about a lot, but I just think it's like a fun accomplishment, is that I have had quite a bit of weight loss in the past few months, which is intentional. It's been through like walking and changing my eating habits. And so this was me when Jeneva Rose and I met in December of 2023. And then this is the picture of us meeting now. So I just feel really proud of myself for that aspect as well, because I know that sometimes when I put reading first, I don't always put other responsibilities first, but now I'm trying to have a better like balance in my life. So I just thought that would be like a fun accomplishment to share at the end of the video. And if you made it this far, thank you for that. And I thought that would be something I could share. In terms of looking forward to the next videos, I actually have 3 video ideas. I feel like that's the most I've had in a while. So I feel like there is going to be until mid-June for that content then. And then I am going to do my readathon. Of course, I feel like my readathon is going to be so key this month because I have a lot of books still to read. And it's not because I feel like I haven't been reading. I just feel like I have a lot of books to read. So we're going to see how it goes over the next like month. And then I actually just got tickets to a really exciting author event that I'll take you with me for. I am just so looking forward to what this summer is going to look like for reading and books and everything like that. So it's definitely stick around. And if you have any ideas or anything that you want to see, definitely let me know.